The Inner Peace Workshop.
Hi friends, my name is Neo. I realize that the Earth is in a state of flux and even chaos. Everything is a bit out of the norm, which can induce anxiety in people, even to the point of suicide, unfortunately. This is especially true of the younger people in society who may be more sensitive to drastic changes, as we have all seen in the past year. Our children are being stunted by lockdowns and school closures, from which it may be difficult to regain what was missed in terms of personal development. In this series, we will explore how to gain an understanding of ourselves so that we are able to deal with whatever life brings to us and ultimately come to accept the world by accepting who we are. The author of the Tao Te Ching is Lao Tzu, meaning the old sage. He aims to point the reader to the way of living in and of the universe. I call this style of living the natural alignment. We are only truly subject to the natural laws of the universe, and by living in harmony with them, we are able to live a fulfilling life without relying on the physical world for our happiness. He emphasizes looking within to find the truth, and by our own process of discovery, we are led to the conclusion that everything is one. After I began to read the Book of the Way, it fascinated me because by nature, I'm a curious person. I love to play with words like puns, discover hidden meanings by connecting seemingly unrelated ideas through the origins of words, and generally explore the English language by researching translations and multiple meanings. Also of interest is by how we express and communicate meanings of these vocal symbols. John 1:1 tells us that the Word is God, and there is power in the Word. I have explored the Tao Te Ching from the perspective of a few different translators, and I thought I would present how I interpret the text. This book is packed full of wisdom and understanding based on the inner truth that Lao Tzu has shared with us. All the answers are found inside the individual, bringing us to the conclusion that we are connected to everything and, in fact, are one with the entire whole of existence. There is one overarching theme in the book that strengthens our spiritual connection to the universe. It is, ironically, letting go. Letting go of our identities, concepts, and desires brings us closer to the Spirit and to each other. The Spirit can only fill what is empty, so one must be humble and empty oneself to be serene. Ultimately, this is a guide on mental and physical health, so follow along with me in this series I am calling the Mental Health Handbook. I will read for you a passage and then break down the meaning of each verse. So let's begin. Tao Te Ching, the Book of the Way, written by Lao Tzu. What is the Tao? The Tao that can be understood is not the eternal, cosmic Tao, just as an idea that can be expressed in words is not the infinite idea. And yet, this ineffable Tao is the source of all spirit and matter. Expressing itself, it is the mother of all created things. Not to desire material things is to know the freedom of spirituality, and to desire them is to suffer the limitations of matter. Yet these two things, matter and spirit, so different in nature, share a common origin. This unity is the mystery of mysteries and the gateway to spirituality. Verse 1. The Tao that can be understood is not the eternal cosmic Tao, just as an idea that can be expressed in words is not the infinite idea. When you name something, it becomes individualized. The Tao cannot be named because it is the source of everything, including names and concepts. So to call it the Tao is a product of the mind in an attempt to understand or to particularize it. It cannot be understood by the mind because the mind creates symbols to convey thoughts and ideas. Any words said about the Tao are simply passing expressions and are neither eternal nor infinite. This idea is powerful because in being like the Tao, you transcend the mind and the body, neither of which is your true self, just a conglomeration of perceptions and an accumulation of matter, respectively. Upon this realization, you begin the journey back to the origin of the cosmos. Verse 2. And yet this ineffable Tao is the source of all spirit and matter. Expressing itself, it is the mother of all created things. Ineffable. Too great to be expressed or described in words. This is the perfect adjective for the Tao because it is the ultimate source of everything, just like the ether described by the Greeks and Nikola Tesla. Everything, everywhere, and every when springs from this infinite source, all energy, all matter, and even spirit. The wonderful Tao is constantly revealing itself through the creation of all things. It is the mother of the universe. Like God, it is simultaneously absent and present, absent from the senses, but present in all things. Verse 3. Not to desire material things is to know the freedom of spirituality, and to desire them is to suffer the limitations of matter. The Buddha tells us that the origin of suffering is desire. Desiring material things, giving in to cravings of pleasures, and seeking immortality will never bring true happiness and fulfillment, as this puts emphasis on the manifestations of the Source and not the Source itself. To turn away from the material world is the spiritual aspect of the Tao. When you are free from desire, you can better acquaint yourself with and move closer to the Spirit, which brings true fulfillment, and simplicity is the key. Verse 4. Yet these two things, matter and spirit, so different in nature, have the same origin. The spiritual and material worlds both arise from the great Tao. The physical and spiritual worlds are mirrors of one another. The physical world is the vessel for the spiritual, one existing necessarily because of the other. Our physical bodies are the perfect example of this, as we are all spiritual beings. Being and non-being, the yin and the yang, the full and the empty, the light and the dark, the good and the evil, are all manifestations of the Tao. Discovering that the spiritual and material worlds have the same origin is the doorway to understanding everything that is seen and unseen. Verse 5. This unity is the mystery of mysteries and the gateway to spirituality. Before there was light, there was darkness, and the light arises from that darkness, both springing into consciousness. Where were you before you were born? Not only in darkness, but in unconscious darkness, unified with the spirit and nature. As in Genesis 1:3 states, then God said, "Let there be light," and there is. John 3:19 tells us that the light has come into the world, but people like the darkness because their deeds are evil. Stay in the light, be conscious of your thoughts and actions, and you will return to the source of light and the darkness, blissful and serene. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Or if you just need someone to talk to, an unbiased ear, or a friend, send me an email and I'll be happy to chat with you. I look forward to talking with you again. And always remember that the Spirit is within us. Thank you.